Art Maps is a research project. It's the Tate and Horizon working together to develop a suite of mobile applications to enable people to explore art through place. So applications that help them locate artworks in the landscape, but also explore the idea of locating themselves through the art.
It's all about sort of exploring your own connection with these mobile technologies that we're going to talk about and use.
We have set up what we're calling engagement events, getting people to come with their smartphones and use the functions that those phones already have, influenced by or inspired by works from the Tate collection.
You can have an experience that's just about the pictures, if that's what you want.
But also inspired by the current Patrick Keeler exhibition, the Robinson Institute, which is an exhibition where the artist really explores some of the economic, ecological and political histories of the landscape through works of art. On the first day of the workshop, we got the participants to test out the different mobile functions.
Day one was really about sort of discovery and experimentation. We sent them out with a number of different tasks to complete: photo, video, note-taking, audio recording, and it was about them sort of getting to grips with what's there at their fingertips and deciding which ones they like or don't like so much.
Out of choice, I would have gone for sound recording because it doesn't interrupt your walk. It's something you can do on the move and keep looking at stuff, and of course as soon as you have to look down and start typing things in, you're kind of losing your connection with your surroundings.
You do need in a way an old piece of art and connection to history, otherwise you're just randomly walking.
And also getting them to then share those results on an online blog platform.
This is about not just those sorts of factual responses about exactly where something is located and perhaps what the environment looks like now, but all of those more kind of associative responses, creative associations, memories, etc.
The second day was then more about really developing their own personal journey. Drawing on the tools that they used from the first day, they can explore anything they want in the surrounding area and create their own journey from that. So as on the first day, when they received those tasks to complete, they were via text. Today they are more optional, so we're just sort of sending them as inspiration.
I responded to pretty much all of them. I had to pretty much adjust my trip to try and respond to all of them.
We searched power in the Tate collection, found the work by Mitch Epstein, which is a photograph of 2 power station chimneys. I sent them a link to the work and say, use this to inspire your journey.
The first message that we got, and it had an image of power, that I looked at that to start off with.
And as I was coming up the side of the Tate, and I've seen it before, and I've seen a lot around London as well, where there's just chunks of buildings taken out, and it's from when the war was on, and it's from shelling. Power, war, it goes along. So that's how my journey started.
I ignored all instructions. The artworks themselves act as a kind of trigger. They just set a process in motion, and what comes out of it can be very, very different and go off in all kinds of different directions. I started with something I was playing with last week. I'd reached over a wall and recorded the sound of the river, and it was a very different sound, a very different environment from the traffic on the other side of the wall. I was quite interested in this idea of the mobile device being some kind of probe that could show you things that you couldn't see with the naked eye.
I actually looked at a Jeff Wall picture. It's just kind of like just a growing plant with a stick that's holding it together and a rope that had bound the 2 pieces together. And as soon as I went out on my journey, I kind of looked on the floor and found this picture, a wedding picture. And I thought that's quite funny, that narrative's kind of tied in with the knot, like tying the knot as in getting married. So the whole journey continued on that path really, and I found myself going to Westminster Cathedral.
We were really pleased to hear that people, having looked at Tate collection works on their mobiles through the digital collection online, were then really inspired to come and see the original work.
I didn't know until last week about Turner, and then I didn't know about the study of color, and that led me to materials, that led me to Keeler, and that led me to Tate Modern. So that was a journey, and it started in Tate Britain.
One of the key aims of the project really is to really investigate the motivation for people doing this and what the experience of doing it is.
We used photography, video, we tried using audio, but in many ways video is a lot richer.
I didn't use any video or audio this time, because last time it was quite difficult to get used to new things.
I see the importance of the different types of capture, audio, video, photo, and there's even a case where I've decided to silence one of my videos because you actually get to feel more importance in the piece. Those kind of little tools, like removing audio in some instance, in an app might be quite useful.
I think it is a very fine balance between these processes enhancing your experience of a place and actually getting in the way of it. The only thing I would urge is that although the project is based around the capabilities of new technologies, that it shouldn't get too wrapped up in those technologies, because I think the processes involved are not dependent on those technologies, although they may be enhanced by their use.
Then I received that text, that magical text about interviewing somebody about the area, this area.
Technology is a very, very good thing, but I think it takes your attention away from the detail.
I was just out there on my own and decided, rather than trying to send the information back, I would simply record it onto the phone and then download it and play with it later, which actually freed me up to think more about what I was doing on the ground.
I just think the app in itself is like a tool, isn't it? And then once you've mastered the tool, then everything else falls into place. So, once you've developed the way of working with that technology, it becomes more fluid and you can upload and download, so that won't become an issue.
And if you lose that gadget, then you're lost. Then you can't remember. It's a false memory.
We had some quite interesting debates about whether people like to share, how much they like to share, how much personal information they want to put out there, whether they like to use GPS tracking systems, all of that. That I found really interesting.
I did look at what people were doing, and I did find it quite inspiring to kind of have that cross-reference with just other people's connection with their journey.
It was just really interesting to keep seeing things popping up on the site and things, seeing what other people were putting.
I started thinking about how this expresses to someone else to see if they can understand the journey that I was on. But I tried to make sure that it was just for me, because otherwise I would have got too precious about fixing up images or audio and the way that I posted it. And I think sometimes it works if you just slap it out there.
I think it's about deciding what it is you want to share as well, because I don't know, what we were doing today is probably quite playful, but I'm not sure how public I'd want to make it.
It takes art to people that wouldn't necessarily access it, and it broadens other people's horizons. And I've got friends on my Facebook that have probably never been to an art gallery.
We've never done this before, so it was a really lovely surprise that everyone engaged so well and really enjoyed it.
We will be analysing the feedback. We'll be feeding that back not only to Horizon and Tate Online team, who are developing and designing the app, but also thinking about it in terms of how our different audiences might want to engage with the collection and also contribute to that.